What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over what I think is the most underrated weapon in Fortnite right now, and that is going to be the dual pistols. If you guys do enjoy this video, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below what you think of the dual pistols in Fortnite right now. So these weapons have pretty much always been really good, and they've always been really underrated. Because once a majority of players in the game were really solid at building, these kind of fell off because they weren't as consistent and immediate damage in a build fight as like a pump shotgun, and then they also weren't as good at getting shots through builds as something like the SMGs. So it was just like in somewhat of a no man's land in terms of like how do you use this weapon in build mode. But now we have zero build, obviously, and that definitely changes up what weapons are viable and what like types of playstyles are viable. And this is actually the first time we've seen them in the game since zero build was added. So with these pistols, when you pull the button to shoot, it shoots 2 bullets at once, like one from each pistol, and it is fully automatic. You could just hold down the fire button and they'll keep shooting. The fire rate isn't the best, but it is fully automatic in the sense that you don't have to like release the shoot button and then tap it again. It's basically like a 2-shot burst, and if you hit the shots, they hit really hard. The blue one will do 40 damage per bullet, so 80 damage if you hit both bullets, and the purple will do 42, so 84 damage if you hit both bullets to the body. And the headshot multiplier is actually really good. I think the blue one will do 70 damage per bullet that hits the head, so if you hit both to the head, that's 140 damage, and the purple one does 73 per bullet to the head, so 146 damage if you hit both bullets to the head. Now that's somewhat unlikely to happen unless you're very close to the opponent, but the burst damage potential on these weapons are very good. That's one of the reasons why shotguns have always been very good in Fortnite, because of like the potential burst damage. You know, you can get a lot of damage out of one shot, and that gives you time to like relocate in a fight, play off cover well. You know, you can kind of like right shoulder peek, throw out a pump shot, and then like kind of dip back into cover. You don't have to be exposed for a very long time to do damage. And it's a similar thing with these pistols. You can kind of shoot them as you like peek between cover. You can alternate between them and a shotgun, which we'll get to later on, which is incredibly good. And there's also an exotic version currently in the game. I believe you can get it from exotic vaults, just like those chests that are in the vaults, called the Hop Rock Dualies. They do 44 damage to the body and 77 to the head, and they also give you the zero gravity effect when you fire them. So like soaring sprints, when you sprint jump, you get that zero gravity effect. The Hop Rock Dualies just give it to you when you fire the weapon. And some people really like that. This can throw your opponent's aim off. Personally, I don't find the zero gravity effect to be something that I really like, and I don't find it to be something that really throws me off in a fight, but it definitely can catch some players off guard, and it can work incredibly well in lower skill lobbies because people aren't that used to that. But when in like higher skill lobbies, I feel like the zero gravity effect really just makes you a sitting target, and it makes it very easy for your opponent to do damage to you, and you don't really have much like counter player decision making in it. You know, once you're up in the sky somewhat, you're just kind of there until you end up getting down. So they can kill incredibly fast, and if you alternate between this and a shotgun, the damage potential is really high. You know, like if you're using a thunder pump, let's just say you throw out a shot, it hits like 130, that would be like not the best damage the thunder shotgun can do, and not the worst. It's somewhat average, you know. So if you 130 with them with your pump, and then swap to these pistols, and then get like between 40 and 80 damage out of it, and then swap back to the shotgun, the person is going to die incredibly fast. Probably on that second pump shot, the opponent should be dead. If you hit any of the bullets with the pistols, you can essentially alternate between them like that, similar to how double pump was back in the day. It's not quite a shotgun, but it functions very similarly because you throw out a lot of damage in a very short time span. Or if you guys played last season, people would kind of run shotgun and then the Evo Chrome burst and alternate between the two, and it was really good. You could do a similar thing with these pistols. The timing is kind of weird to get down. I don't know if the pistols have a slow pullout time or the thunder pump has a slow pullout time, but something about getting this timing right is kind of awkward. But when you do get it down, you can kill incredibly fast. The ceiling on these pistols is incredibly high. You know, if you hit them with a pump shot and then double headshot them with the pistols, the person is probably going to die. Even for body shots, the pistols, the ceiling is very high, but the floor is also quite low, because if you're using something like the twin mag or the tactical pistol in combination with your shotgun, it's very easy to hit shots with those weapons. The fire rate is quite good, and it's much easier to do than something like the dual pistols. So the consistency is going to be much higher on something like the twin mag or the tactical pistol when combined with your shotgun. but the dualies are potentially better if you're perfect. So the way I look at it is like the ceiling on the dualies is incredibly high, but the floor is also lower than if you're using any of those other spray weapons, because you could potentially just miss both your shots and get no damage in that time. Whereas like with the twin mag, the machine pistol, the tac pistol, you're probably going to get some amount of damage in that time because they have really good fire rates and they just are generally easier to use. And this pistol does work with the augments that are currently in the game. So the pistol amp augment that increases your magazine size, the augment that makes it to where the last 2 bullets do extra damage. It's not really something I would go for, but pistol amp is quite nice with these pistols because ammo concern is not the greatest. And one final thing I want to touch on is that the range on these pistols is actually quite good. I should have some clips of that on screen now. People think of these as like a very, very limited weapon, but you can put out bullets and put out damage incredibly fast with these. And so in more medium range fights, like, 40 to 50 meters, you can actually get something done with these pistols. They're not just borderline worthless. And if you really don't like using shotguns at all for whatever reason, you could maybe use these as like a pseudo shotgun replacement because they do have insane damage potential up close and good like burst damage. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative. Like I said, I think the dualies are fun to play around with. They can be amazing at like the perfect end, like, if you just hit every shot with them, but they're not the most consistent and they're not the most like convenient to use weapon. They're very punishing. If you miss your shots, you get no damage, or if you mess up the timing, you can really throw yourself off in a close range fight. But I do think they're good, and I do think they are definitely fun to play around with. So if you guys are looking for something kind of like different or fun to use in the game right now, we're getting really close to the end of the season. The dual pistols can be that. If you guys found this helpful, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more. Comment down below what you think of the dual pistols. I'm going to let a gameplay play out that I got on stream using them, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. I really would have liked if I was able to have a hammer this game. This lobby is actually hella populated. I don't know how many bullets I have in the pistols. Yeah, it actually has really helped me in back-to-back fights. Like, versus the RPG user, I just, like, pushed him knowing he would try to RPG me, knowing I could just zero gravity out of it. And then versus that guy, to really, like, throw him off. I think because he was, like, under that porch. I'd have to watch that back. I think he was, like, under the porch, so I was able to, like, jump to a point where he just, like, couldn't see me anymore. That's so awkward, man. But GG's. I kind of wish it was like the 0-point dash. Like you could choose to be 0 gravity, because like I didn't want to be 0 gravity at all during the fight with that ninja. And then like if I didn't kill him on that pump shot, I was dead, because I wasn't allowed to see anything anymore after that pump shot because there's a fucking tree in my perspective. Love that. But luckily he died on that shot. But yeah, I don't know. Like the 0 gravity helped for me there. I feel like it did save me in some fights, but at the same time, like I did not feel comfortable with it at all.